Today's going to be an unboxing video. It'll be short. I went and bought me a new compressor today. My old one went out after having it for, what is it, 28 years. I got it as a gift from my wife a long time ago, and it was from Harbor Freight. Worked great. The only thing is I had to change out the valve one time, and the pressure release valve. And then I took it up to my ranch this past winter and used it up there to build, and left it up there for a little bit. And when I brought it home, went to start it up, and it threw the breakers. Just won't turn over. The motor won't turn over anymore. So anyway, it was a Campbell. I believe it's a 20 gallon 5 horse oilless compressor. So this is my old compressor. Like I said, 5 horsepower oilless. I don't know how long that filter's been missing. It probably blew off when I moved here from Reno 16 years ago or so. But yeah, it did a great job. I always had plenty of pressure with it. Like I said, the only thing I had to replace one time was the pressure release valve. Other than that, it's been a great investment, and it's seen a lot of work. It says I don't buy a lot of stuff at Harbor Freight, but I'd be lying if I said that. I do buy quite a bit of stuff. You know, if it's going to be something major, like my plasma cutter, I didn't get from Harbor Freight, but I have bought welders and stuff like that from there, and they've lasted a long time. I've got a little stick feed or wire feed welder that I've had for probably 20 years. Had to replace the guard around the lines going to the gun part of it, but other than that, it's lasted quite a while. I bought grinders and sanders and buffers and all kinds of stuff from there, and it's made a lot better than what you'd think. So, but I decided to go with this particular compressor because it fits the needs. It's mostly going to be used in my shop and to run my plasma cutter. So I'm going to use it for the most. I have a different compressor that I bought for building other things that I can move around. It's just a small work area. But yeah, so let's take a look. All right, so this is the McGraw 21 oilless air compressor. It's a vertical instead of horizontal. The one drawback to the horizontal was how much footprint it took up. And I used to have it stuffed back in the corner underneath some shelving, and I'd always have to climb back in there to turn it on. So the nice thing about this one, the new one, is that it doesn't take up nearly as much space, and I can leave it out in my shop, easy access. As you can see, it's 175 max PSI, 4 CFM at 90 PSI, and of course running horsepower. But anyway, it has some good points. Like I said, mainly it's going to be for here in my shop, or what is temporarily in my shop, because I'm going to build another one. But anyway, it'll be good for not only doing the plasma cutter, but I can use it for airing up tires and running air tools. Let's get to unboxing. All right, so I don't know how much it weighs. 100 pounds, it says, 100 plus pounds. Bolts for the wheels, of course, owner's manual. Wheels. Voila! Oh, yeah. Just like the one in the store. A nice long cord on it. I want to say it's a 10-foot cord. I remember it says it somewhere. Maybe it's not 10 foot. Yeah, it's more like a 6-foot cord. It's only got one outlet. Of course, your adjustment, your gauges. Best part, right? I was taking those off. On-off switch is easy to locate. Now I gotta do is get it out of this foam so I can put wheels on it. Let's see, what should we? enough, right? Alright, so I got a couple wrenches here. Let's put the wheels on. The bolt itself is a 16 millimeter. The wheels are actually a plastic rim with a rubber liner on the outside for the tire. It might last a while. We'll see. Of course, with any compressor, on the bottom you got the drain plug to get rid of any moisture that collects. Remind you to clean your air filter regularly. And, well, feels pretty heavy duty. The plugs are plugged in. Give it a try on the side here. It's got your startup instructions. Of course, close the valve, close your air pressure, and then also talks about your hose inlet. Plug automatically shuts off before reaching its cutoff pressure. Turn on the off switch, and then once you have pressure, adjust the pressure you need. Alright, well, let's plug it in and give it a whirl. Get it making some air. Alright, so here's a fun piece of news. Just read the manual a little bit. It says to open up the drain plug fully and turn on the compressor, run it for 30 minutes for break-in time. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. It's definitely quieter than my old one. Yeah, so I'm going to shut the valve now and let it air up, and then we'll try it with the plasma cutter, see how it does once it's all aired up. Alright, so it's filled up. It took probably about 15 minutes, and it's showing about 170 psi, and I've got it set, bring it down just a little bit, at 90 psi, and then we'll get it hooked up to the plasma cutter and go from there. So the first cut, I had it set at 90 pounds, and then when it turned on, it went down to about 80 pounds, I guess. Stayed right there. Did a pretty good job. But then the second cut, I turned it up to 100 pounds, and once I started using it, I went back down to 90 pounds on the compressor. So let's take a look at that. All right, so obviously I need to work on my technique a little bit. Yeah, looks amazing. So this was my first cut, actually. It actually did pretty good. At 90 pounds, you can see my line is still scribed right there. So it's not bad. I just need to work on my technique a little bit. Got some slag on it. I haven't taken that off, but that was a pretty clean cut. That was at 100 psi's. And this is 1/8 inch thick tubing. So it does a pretty good job. So the nice thing is the compressor only turned on the one time while I was using it. Of course, I didn't use it very long, but when it did, it only went down to, I think it was 160 pounds when it turned off. I was a little bit wondering about it for a minute because it didn't kick on at all during some of the cut. And so I stopped and went over and looked at it, but it kicked on after I used it some more, and it did pretty well. So it works nice. It's very quiet as compared to my old compressor, of course, and it provided plenty of air pressure. Now to really test it, I'd need to do a lot more cutting. I do have more metal projects. I want to do some some rock sliders for my 2018 Chevy Colorado. I already have that still, so that's in the plans for this weekend if I get to it. But right now, I'm actually working on the 66 Fury, and I'll be using the plasma cutter a little bit more, so I'll video a little more of that and add it to this. So anyway, compressor works really well. Just in case you're wondering what plasma cutter I'm using, I'll show you. So I'm using the Eastwood VersaCut 45, I believe is what it is. Super simple. Or actually, I guess it's 40. It goes up to 40 amps. You can control the air pressure. I didn't think about that. I didn't adjust my air pressure down here. Could have done that. Probably would have cut even better. But anyway, it's got a nice long cord on it for your wand. It has probably, I think it's 12 feet. The drawback to this is, of course, the power cord. But anyway, I'm not reviewing this right now. But plasma cutter works good. Air compressor works good. Cut the metal pretty good. I just need to work on my technique. This is a compressor. There's always so much you can review on it. Sure, it blows air. But yeah, I think it's gonna do the job. It will stay in the shop. I won't have to take it anywhere with me like I did the old compressor. And then I think it'll run all my air tools too. I don't use a lot of air tools. I used to use air tools all the time when I worked on cars and stuff, but I don't know, the upkeep, slowing down if you didn't oil them enough, that type of thing. I do a lot of cutting, and anyway, I used to use a lot of air tools, but I don't anymore. So this air compressor is going to work for what I need. Like I said, it's Harbor Freight, McGraw, 21 gallons upright. I like it. I'll give it a thumbs up. If you're looking for a compressor, they have one that's slightly bigger, a 26 gallon upright. That's almost $100 more. So this wasn't too bad. Out the door tax, it was $309. I did not buy the extended warranty because if it's going to break, it's going to break, after the warranty's expired. Anyway, my other compressor, like I said, I had since 1995, so I'm not worried about it. We'll see. Anyway, go out and buy one. Use it. Get out there and do something. And that's it for this review. It's time to get some work done. And we'll see you next time. See ya.
Whoa! Tracing! Tracing, I can't stop! Whoa! Whoa!